We're in today with the GTX 690. This video card was launched in 2012. It's got 1536 shaders, 2 gig of VRAM GDDR5 Samsung, 256 bits bus width with DirectX 11 support, running at 950 MHz on the core clock, 1502 MHz on the memory clock. We're going to pair it up with this i7 9th Gen with 8 cores and 8 threads. Let me ask you like this: what's better than a GTX 690 to GTX 690? So today we have Quad SLI. So let's jump in a couple of games and see how this Quad SLI GTX 690 is working in a couple of games with SLI. This is going to be a better idea to play Alan Wake with Quad SLI GTX 690 and see how it's running with graphics. I think everything is on maximum details. I'm actually surprised how nice it's working with this system. I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of weird to look at the new Alan 2 and see everybody complaining about performance, but this is exactly what I need from this game. Lots of FPS. Nice FPS constantly with 12 ms. This is actually good. 1.2 gig of VRAM utilized, 3000 MHz on the memory clock. There's a couple of cores that are overheating, so can actually see in some cases 60-50% fan speed. That's not okay. Let's help the video cards. Does it cool down? 83, 82 degrees. I want better temps for this because it's overheating seriously overall. So the first one is the Founders Edition and the second one is with the twin turbo Accelero cooler, you know, which doesn't matter. Alan Wake is working really nice with this, apparently with 95% on the fan spin. Still doesn't cool the first core. I have to take a look and see that thermal paste. Maybe it's old. I think it's gonna be rock solid, that thermal paste. But in this situation with both of the video cards connected in SLI with Quad SLI, can actually see we got lots of FPS from this system, you know, so it's quite awesome. Let's jump in GTA 5 and see how the system is holding with, let's see the graphics. That's DirectX 10, 1080p, FXA on because the edges and normal details. No frame scaling and everything is off on the shadows. Oh, definitely it's working, but I have VRAM limitation. Look at this, 1987 megabytes of VRAM used. That's not okay. Less than 50% load on the core. Let's see how it looks in the garage. Oh yeah, definitely. I didn't drop any FPS. We're still over 100 FPS, so it's not that bad. The frame time is actually under 10. That's really fantastic. Both of the GPUs are staying really cooled on the cores because they're not utilized. Nice FPS, good linear frame time, no stress on the GPU. You can actually see the GPU scores are, one is 900, one is 700 megahertz. It's like it's making the whole Quad SLI run very balanced in this game. Quad SLI with GTA 5, it's actually a pleasure to do. It's actually a pleasure to have. I think there's not a lot of room in order for me to increase the details. The only thing I can do, this is gonna be interesting because I know it doesn't have any impact, is to put VSync on. Now, if I put VSync on, does it lower the VRAM? Actually, this is interesting. We have to go outside and see how it's running like that. I'm just curious if the VRAM is less with VSync on. So in Quad SLI, should be very interesting this. I'm not gonna lie, this is the first time I'm seeing Quad SLI with VSync because I know the whole system is competent, you know, is powerful enough to push the whole game to beyond, you know, the FPS I need, but I just want to see how it looks. Definitely we need to go in Battlefield 3 and see how it's running. Let's see the settings we have. Options, video. I'm on low details. No. We got ultra. Can actually put ultra because we got a lot of GPUs here. Vertical sync. No. Let's see if we are capable of pushing maximum. All right, can we kill some people here? Let's see. This SLI needs to rock, seriously. Overall, it needs to be awesome. 160 FPS on average with this. I'm not gonna lie, the system is doing fantastic. I can actually see the first core again, 80 degrees. It's kind of hot, you know, but It's doing okay. Whoa. The system itself in Battlefield 3 is working really nice with 140 FPS. Above VSync turned off, I got like 6 ms, 5 ms, and it's kind of good to see this type of performance from a setup like this. Quad SLI in Battlefield 3, it's kind of legendary. Actually, I have to take a look and see how it's performing with new thermal paste, because one of the cores is overheating. Look at that, 89 degrees, 88. I think a VSync will help this setup. Let's actually see how the game is performing with VSync. 84 degrees. Apparently it does help. Seriously, it's kind of interesting to see it. So yes, with VSync on, apparently the temperature is stabilizing. I'm not gonna lie, the VRAM is fully utilized in this situation. But with VSync on, you can see that the core speed is a little lower. Man, this game looks fantastic even today, seriously. Let's see how Battlefield 1 is working with this system. I want to see the settings because this is gonna be very interesting. Let's start with low details and see if we can max out the FPS and see which one is bottlenecking. So first off, I like the temperature. I like the temperature on it because I changed the thermal paste and now I got 67, 70 degrees, I think, on the cores. Can actually see the GPU trying to creep up on near 70 degrees. Core load is not even on the first GPU. You can actually see the 784 megahertz on the first core clock and 1071 megahertz on the second core clock. Not even. There's no question. I want to test this game and see how it runs on maximum details with 1080p. Interesting performance on the cores. Apparently only the second core is utilized around 50%. I'm not gonna lie, it's not ideal in this situation because I want more details, I want more load on the core so it can be even though it's like 40-50% load on the core, the temperature is still good with the video card. I can give it a thumbs up my thermal paste because it's holding pretty well. The core speeds are almost even aside from the second one, that is 1019 on the second core frequency, but aside from that all is good. 1.2 gig of VRAM, 91 FPS on average with 10 ms. That is kind of fantastic for this performance. I will say 60 FPS it's ideal if you don't have a high frequency monitor, but that's it. Let's see how Black Ops 2 is running with this Quad SLI. This is one of my favorite games that needs to run perfectly on this. Very nice performance on this occasion with Black Ops 2. This is exactly the performance I need from this situation. 36, 90% load on the second core. I mean, the balance on the core clock, it's kind of weird, you know. Only two. I got 2 cores from each GPU that is on 1058 megahertz. That's kind of weird to see. Doesn't matter. Look at this. Real performance from this Quad SLI. It's there on top because I put the maximum details in the game and it's running really nice. You know, it's something that you can deny from this system. I think if I put it on low details, it will be even better. Let's see how Metro is working with this glorious Quad SLI. This is maxed out on every single detail, DirectX 11, everything, detail max, all. You can actually see the details are fantastic in the game, so can't complain about it. You can see the cores are loaded. The frequency on the cores are perfect. I'm not gonna lie, I like the FPS, but I think I have to use VSync in order to lower the temperature here. 89, the temperature is insane, but look at the detail, seriously, how the game looks. This is an awesome game to play in SLI. Looks fantastic, man. It looks fantastic and it runs fantastic. Overall, everything is good, but because of that load on the cores, look at it, over 90% load on the core is making the GPU super hot, like really hot. I activated VSync from control panel and now I lock the FPS on 60 FPS, yeah? Okay, force the whole thing because in the game it doesn't have it. Now, doesn't give me hundreds of FPS, but on maximum details you can actually see that with VSync you get like 60-70% load on the cores, but even like that the GPU stays on 84, 85 degrees on the first, and the last core it's the same. You can actually see the details are fantastic, but yeah, the GPUs and the SLI, the Quad SLI, it's on maximum tiptoe. Crysis 2, but with a twist, because I have VSync activated from the last game because I wanted to see if the temperature will be okay. But in Crysis 2, apparently Look at the specs. Not gonna lie, this is kind of interesting to see the performance because it doesn't utilize the core. It keeps it cool, but in this situation, yeah, the VRAM it utilized. 2 gig of VRAM utilized in this situation. I love the performance. I love everything about this situation because the core is not utilized. The 95% fan on the GPUs is keeping the video cards now cool. 60 FPS apparently it's ideal for this. I don't need more than amount of FPS I got now because it's keeping the GPU really cool. It looks and it runs fantastic. On the core side, you can actually see it's only 700 megahertz on the cores, you know. So with this situation, there's only like 20-30% power wattage from the GPU. It's not fully loaded. The last meter in MS Afterburner, that's the wattage power, you know, the wattage. It doesn't show you the watts, like actually 300 watts or 200 or 100 watts. No, it just shows you the percentage. If you see a GTX 690 that shows you 150 watts consumption, no, it's not. That's fake. This video card doesn't show. One, I really like this setup. It's a fantastic experience to have 2 GTX 690s in SLI, in Quad SLI, and play games that are actually compatible with it. There's no denying the experience is flawless. I cannot recommend this video card. I cannot recommend this setup, this Quad SLI, because they are very non-efficient. They consume a lot of electricity. They eat a lot. The wattage is way too high, but overall I cannot recommend it because they're not very efficient on the wattage and FPS delivery. That's it. Do you want to throw new games to this configuration and say, oh, it's not working? Then yeah, you can do that. You can complain, but that's not the point. The point is to find the right games for this configuration. And if you find them, then you are the winner in this situation with this combination of SLI. 2 GTX in SLI, in Quad SLI. Yeah. You can't compare it with nothing. I promise you that.